Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really cutting through the complexity to give you the blueprint for what feels like the next wave of the internet. Our sources are zeroed in on two massive and I think complementary forces. First, this whole movement known as decentralized physical infrastructure networks, or DePIN,
Hmm.
and it's about literally changing who builds and owns the physical backbone of our digital world. And the second force is that critical but, often overlooked financial bridge, the piece that makes all that decentralized infrastructure actually matter.
Right.
We're looking at a next-gen service that's designed to solve a really central, frustrating problem. If I own these crypto assets, how do I actually spend them, in the real world without the headache?
Without the delay in the cost.
Exactly. So our mission today, it's pretty ambitious. We need to go beyond the acronyms, understand the radical economic model behind DePIN, look at some real-world examples, and then pivot to see how these financial logistics projects are connecting that crypto economy back to, say, your local Visa terminal. We're asking, how is the infrastructure of tomorrow being built? And more importantly, how is it being made usable for all of us today?
And that financial bridge you mentioned, it's
Yeah.
absolutely essential because it gets to the core thesis of this whole revolution. I mean, historically, infrastructure, whether you're talking cell towers, massive server farms, utility grids, it's always been owned and controlled by very centralized corporations.
Right.
DePIN just fundamentally challenges that model. The promise here is community-built, decentralized networks. Resilient, geographically diverse. This isn't just a tech shift. It's a huge economic reorganization.
That is a huge claim. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's unpack this. If traditional infrastructure needs billions in upfront funding, what investors call CapEx, how can a decentralized community even compete with that? What exactly is DePIN, and what's the secret sauce in its economic model?
Well, DePIN is the acronym for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks.
Hmm.
At its heart, the idea is you stop thinking about infrastructure as this massive, monolithic thing owned by one company,
Oh,
and you start seeing it as an aggregated kind of modular service that's provided by thousands of independent people.
Hmm.
And the mechanism, that's the genius part. Traditional companies have this huge hurdle, that massive, expensive CapEx cost. They have to spend billions before they see a single dime in revenue.
right.
DePIN projects. They use a tokenomic structure to completely flip this on its head. They
Mhm.
incentivize individuals to deploy the physical hardware, an antenna, a node, a sensor, by rewarding them with tokens.
So instead of a company taking on, I don't know, enormous debt to build a data center, they're effectively distributing that cost across a community. You're turning what would have been centralized CapEx into decentralized OpEx paid out with tokens. Is that the key insight?
Precisely. That's
Okay.
it. It turns the entire cost model on its head. The network itself pays the contributors, the people running the service, in proportion to the verifiable work they do.
Mm.
And the blockchain provides that transparent, auditable layer to coordinate it all. It makes sure everyone gets compensated fairly for deploying real-world hardware.
So things like setting up a 5G node or sharing your GPU power.
Exactly. And this allows for this incredibly rapid, community-driven build-out that, frankly, large corporations just can't replicate efficiently.
And the scope here feels enormous. I mean, we're talking about projects that are revolutionizing everything from wireless access all the way to cloud computing power.
Mm-hmm.
It takes this idea of Web3, which can sometimes feel stuck in purely digital stuff like DeFi, and it grounds it firmly in physical reality. And here's where it gets really interesting, right? Moving from that economic philosophy to the actual concrete projects that are proving this model works. We have two leading examples in our sources that really show the breadth of it all. Let's start with Helium.
Helium is, arguably the most famous example of what's called DWI, or decentralized wireless.
Yeah.
They're building physical network coverage for both high-speed 5G and IoT, the Internet of Things.
And IoT, just for anyone who doesn't know, that's just devices, sensors, trackers, all talking to each other.
Exactly. And the big telecom giants, they often struggle to provide dense coverage everywhere in a cost-effective way. So Helium tackles this by incentivizing everyday people. You install and operate a physical hotspot or 5G node on your property, in your home, in your office.
And you get rewarded for that.
You get rewarded. You receive Helium tokens for providing verified coverage and for relaying data. The real innovation here is that the network coverage itself becomes decentralized, community-owned, and way more resilient than a single corporate-owned infrastructure.
Wow. Okay, that covers that dense, low-power network need. But let's look at a completely different physical application. render network. This is about massive computing needs, which is a whole different beast.
It is a different beast. Render Network focuses on decentralized GPU rendering. So think about major visual effects studios or architects or increasingly AI model trainers.
They need huge amounts of power.
Huge amounts. And they typically rely on a few big centralized cloud providers. But the thing is, GPUs, the specialized chips you need for this, are often just sitting idle in consumer PCs or small studios all over the world. Render uses the DePIN model to tap into that distributed resource. Users can contribute their idle GPU power to the network, and they get compensated in tokens for completing these rendering tasks.
So it solves two problems at once.
Right. It offers dramatically cheaper, more scalable alternative to the big cloud services,
Right.
and it increases the usage rate of all this expensive hardware that's already out there.
That's fascinating. It really shows that the DePIN investment thesis isn't just about telecoms. It's about shifting the cost and ownership for any vital physical resource. It's like an efficiency hack that leverages distributed ownership.
Okay, so we've dug into decentralized infrastructure, the building blocks, but now we have to pivot to the usability problem.
Yes.
We have all these tokens fueling these networks, Helium tokens, render tokens, but what good are they if they're stuck in a digital wallet and you can't, easily use them to buy groceries? That's where the financial logistics come in, bridging this crypto world back to daily finance.
This is the exact gap that projects like PintoPay are designed to fill. We need a reliable, fast, global financial infrastructure that just works seamlessly between the centralized and decentralized worlds.
And how do they do that? Well, the core function is just enabling users to spend their crypto instantly, like it was cash. They do this by providing access to the interfaces we all use every day, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or even physical Visa and MasterCard cards.
So it's the interface that matters.
It's the interface, but it's also the engine behind it. This engine is backed by secure, what our sources call neobank elements.
Hold on, let's define that. When you say neobank elements, what are we talking about specifically?
It means they're leveraging the tech and the user experience of a modern digital bank, but it's built specifically to handle crypto liquidity and fiat conversions, all while staying compliant. So they handle the secure custody, the immediate conversion, and all the mandatory regulatory checks, your KYC, your AML, that connect the crypto assets directly to the traditional payment networks like Visa.
And that's what makes the purchase fast and legal.
Fast, legal, and just.
Yeah.
Every day ready.
That instant nature is huge. I can top up my card, virtual or physical, with crypto or fiat, and that money is immediately ready for use anywhere in the world. It removes that painful transaction lag that used to plague crypto spending. Now, what's interesting is that this solution, it's not just for individuals, is it? It's a B2B model, too.
Absolutely. For partners, the biggest value proposition here is speed to market. PintoPay offers this ready-to-use infrastructure that lets businesses issue their own branded virtual and physical cards to their users.
So if I run a DeFi platform.
Exactly. If you run a DeFi platform, your users don't just hold tokens on your site. They can immediately spend them using a card that has your logo on it.
And the financial incentive for that partner, that must be pretty compelling. It's a recurring revenue engine.
It is. Partners earn revenue from three main places.
Yeah.
Every card issued, every time a card is topped up, and every single transaction processed anywhere in the world. This is critical because it gives them a new, consistent revenue stream that also, strategically, strengthens customer loyalty.
Yeah.
If my crypto is most useful when I spend it on my platform's card, I'm way less likely to leave that ecosystem.
This is where we get into the really good stuff, the specific examples from the sources that show the profit potential. We saw specific fees, which really shows you how tiny fractional costs can add up to huge revenue.
For sure. For instance, the standard card fee is 25 USDT, but if you're a partner buying in bulk, that can drop to around 12 USDT.
Okay.
Then you have the operational fees. Virtual card deposit fees, they range from 1.5 to 2%, and commissions from payment gateways start at 3%. These are the little levers that generate the income.
And if we look at that revenue forecast example they provided, it's a powerful illustration of scale.
It is.
A business handling what seems like a relatively moderate $1 million in monthly volume could anticipate generating $10,000 to $20,000 in monthly income just from these fees.
That's a 1 to 2% capture on volume. That recurring income stream can easily cover the initial setup cost and then just bolster the core business.
Which leads directly to the partner's big decision. How do I integrate this? And PintoPay offers two very distinct formats.
Yes, and this provides a really crucial decision-making framework based on what resources the partner already has.
Okay, walk us through them. Who should choose which option, and why are the costs so different?
So the first is the API solution. It's priced at $9,500. This is for the highly technical partner. If you already run a sophisticated crypto wallet or a fintech app and you have a robust interface, you don't need their front end. You just need the financial plumbing.
So you just get API access.
You get the API access, the libraries. It's a pure technical integration. And the support reflects that. The API solution includes L2 technical support.
L2. Second line support.
Exactly. It handles the complex technical issues with the integration itself, but it does not include custom branding or the user-facing stuff. The partner handles all of that themselves.
And then there's the premium option, the white label solution.
Yes, priced at $30,500. This is the ready-made full-service option, the fully assembled car.
Okay.
It's for partners who want to launch immediately without building any tech. It includes everything: custom branding, a built-in client interface, an admin dashboard, even pre-built tools like a Telegram mini app. And crucially, this includes both L1 and L2 support. L1, first-line support, means PintoPay handles all those immediate user questions, the "my card isn't working" or "how do I top up" stuff.
So the partner gets the product, the revenue, and full support. It's the fastest way to get to market.
It's the fastest way, absolutely.
That difference in cost and service really shows the trade-off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we can connect the dots here by looking at the project's current metrics from our sources. They show some serious adoption. 117,250 total users, 38,000 monthly active users, and 12,500 daily active users.
Those are strong metrics. But I think the most telling indicator of their B2B success is the adoption rate by other projects. They're reporting 11 or more new B2B integrations every single month. That tells you that projects across the crypto space recognize this financial infrastructure isn't a nice-to-have. It's a fundamental necessity for real-world utility.
Exactly. So while DePIN is building the physical foundation of Web3, the antennas, the servers, the network services like PintoPay are providing the financial logistics,
The plumbing.
the plumbing, to make sure the assets generated by that infrastructure can be used instantly, globally, and reliably in the world we all live in. So what does this all mean? The big picture, it feels like a simultaneous two-front revolution. First, the physical world is going decentralized with DePIN, solving these core economic problems like CapEx with token incentives. Second, the financial world is becoming interconnected. It's acknowledging that for these decentralized assets to have any real global economic weight, they need a frictionless on-ramp back into traditional payment rails.
Right. And the sources are clear that while this movement is transformative, the DePIN ecosystem, like any new technology, it faces risks, it faces challenges with scaling. I think the key takeaway for you, the listener, isn't that one option is inherently best, but that the choice of infrastructure, the specific token model, and the financial bridge you use, whether it's the high-control API or the full-service white label, it all depends heavily on the context and the need.
Absolutely. Utility dictates strategy,
Yeah.
which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to consider. If DePIN successfully decentralizes essential physical infrastructure, creating these alternative wireless networks and cloud rendering farms, does the eventual dominance of these services mean we have to completely replace financial giants like Visa and MasterCard with pure crypto rails?
Right.
Or is the most pragmatic path forward the one we see emerging today? A deep, friction-free integration that harnesses their existing global reach for maximum usability. Think about that long-term trade-off between pure decentralized idealism and global everyday functionality.